you are ready, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Just give yourself a little lift, whether that's rolling up the mat or sitting on a block, sitting on a pillow, a cushion. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you all. Okay, let your hands slide down your thighs so that your upper shoulders can relax down away from your ears. Plug down into the front edge of your sitting bones. Take your time. If you're still grabbing props, you can meet us here when you're ready. And then close your eyes, drop in, take a few deep breaths just to settle into this still point. Root down into your sitting bones. See if you can relax across your hip flexors so your thighs release downwards. And then lengthen up through the sides of your waist, lengthen upwards through your rib cage, your breastbone, the crown of your head. And just notice how you've landed on your mat today. Notice how your body is feeling. How is your breath, your emotional world that is so tied into our breathing patterns? What are you bringing with you to the mat? What is showing up for you in this space as you sit, as you drop in, as you close your eyes? And today I want to sit with polarity, and we'll each find our own. So I love working with polarity. I think it's really a big part of the physical postural yoga practice, but it's something we can link into in our meditative practices as well. This idea of kind of push and pull, the rooting and rising, the expanding and contracting. So a nice way to find a polarity that you want to sort of sit with and hold space for today, I'll offer a few prompts. You can see what feels right. One is to think of something that you feel really hopeful towards at this point in your pregnancy, or as you think about birth, giving birth, labor, and delivery in the future. And then maybe something that evokes fear. So we will be doing the fear release today during Shavasana by request. We're doing it again this month. So if you want to work with that polarity, that can be a really powerful one to step into. And you'll just choose, sort of drop in and feel into a polarity between one piece of this new emerging identity and process of pregnancy, approaching birth, and parenthood that feels really full of hope, and then one aspect that evokes fear. And you'll just kind of notice what that hope is, name it, and what that fear is, name it. Or another polarity that you could think about is we're changing so much when we're pregnant and as we become parents, especially if it's the first time you're becoming a parent. This is your first baby, maybe. I know for most of you it is like your identity, right? Like, is there a part of this new identity that you feel really tickled and thrilled to step into? And is there a sense of longing or loss of an identity that you used to feel really solidly rooted into? And so you can hold both of these selves, this polarity. Maybe it's being a child of your parents and becoming a parent yourself, or maybe it has to do with your career or your relationship with your partner, how that evolves. And whatever you want to choose to focus on, I invite you to pick a polarity and sit with that, hold space for that, send a little breath, a little pinch of compassion around that polarity. Feel what roots, what rises, what expands, what contracts. So many different facets of self we could pick to focus on, but just pick one and really get clear and kind of name it for yourself. What is that? Notice whatever thoughts or emotions or physical sensations arise or fall away, and hold space for that too. Feel how these two opposing pieces you've chosen to name or call out or identify relate to one another. Feel the tension between them. And then really step into your breath. If it's become shallow or short, deepen your breath. Stay with it. Offer your breath, your attention, your compassion as you hold space for this polarity within yourself. This and that. And for this very last minute seated, I want to offer a mantra to sit with. And it's one that I often teach and just keep coming back to and teaching more. Your tension is your teaching. Your tension is your teaching. So you can just sort of silently say this to yourself in your mind's eye. My tension is my teaching. As you feel into this polarity, this pull, this push. Your tension is your teaching. Contraction is your expansion. Right? This resonates true when we learn about the birth process. The contraction of the uterine muscles is the opening of the cervix, the dilating. Your contraction is your expansion. Your tension is your teaching. Each time you feel a contraction during childbirth, your body is opening, opening, opening more and more. And it's an opening that goes beyond the physical body, but touches all layers of being, from skin to soul. The yogis called this our koshas, the 5 koshas, the 5 layers of being: physical body, breath, emotional body, mental, wisdom body, and blissful body, Anandamaya kosha. So when you're ready, go ahead and blink your eyes open and just take a moment if you want to sit a little longer or if you want to write about what came up for you so that you can come back to it during the check-in or later if you want to go back to it. Give yourself a moment. So go ahead and close your eyes once you find your way into child's pose. And if you want to find a little movement, feel free. If you want to drop into stillness, if that feels nice, just grounding for a few breaths, go for it. Allow the weight of your baby to spread away from the lower back and the pelvic joints. Let your breath slow down. Let's take one more here. And then when you are ready, blink your eyes open, walk your hands in, push into the floor or your legs to roll up through your spine. Let your head come up last of all. And then we'll lie down on our left side. So I'm just going to grab the screen so I can see you all, but you're going to set up facing the long edge of your mat on your left side. And stand with your ankles stacked, so it's almost like you're standing on the wall in front of you, right? And you can bring your right hand in front of you because you're a little front heavy with the weight of your baby, so this can be like a little kickstand, and you can keep it there the whole time. Open up through your hip flexors, scoop your tailbone towards your heels, broaden through your chest. Good. From here, let's take the right leg up, externally rotate it, and you can stay here with your kickstand, or if you feel balanced, you can grab your knee with your right hand. You can bring your elbow inside of the knee and grab your big toe with your right hand, press out through your left heel, and perhaps start the process. It's early, it doesn't have to straighten all the way, but perhaps start the process of straightening through your right leg and then pressing through the ball of the foot. So you're gonna point through the ankle joint, like instead of flexing, kind of point through the ankle joint and then flex through the toes so that the big toe joint really pushes into the grip of your fingers here. And wherever you are, take about 3 more deep breaths, some form of this Anantasana side lane stretch. Good stretch for your inner leg, your pelvic floor muscles. One more slow breath in. Press out through your left heel, firm your left thigh, exhale. Tree pose on your side. Bring your right foot way up high onto your left leg. You can hold the ankle as long as you still have space around the bump to do so. And if you don't, you can use your kickstand, or if you'd rather have a kickstand hand, that works great. Press your right foot to the inner left thigh, press your inner left thigh to your right foot, press your right thigh back. Hold your ground like you're standing on your left foot. Take 2 more here. You're like a nurse log, a fallen tree, sideline tree pose. Now, you can keep the kickstand or take your right hand to the top of your thigh near your hip joint. Press the heel of your right hand into the top of your thigh. And as you do this, feel that you can spread the bottom of the right rib cage up out of the pelvis a little more. Take 1 more breath. Clamshells. This is a glute med exercise. So we're gonna bend our knees out in front of our hips and stack them. And then take your right arm over the top of your head, reach through your arms. Make sure you're not stooped forward in your thoracic. So if you were on a wall, you'd have your head, your shoulders, and your hips on the wall. Kali Mudra, interlace all but your index fingers, lift your right knee up, and then lower it back down. Keep your ankles together, just lift your knee up. Yep, and lower it. Keep that going. 8, 7. Now you can always bring your hand to your hip. Make sure that your top hip doesn't roll back too much. So you want to keep your knees and your hips stacked so you're not wiggling around. That's going to help you about 5 more to isolate your glute med. And if you're doing a lot of walking, hiking in this beautiful fall weather, Glute med can be a good source of stability for pelvis and low spine as, relaxin and just the weight of your baby might be pulling on those joints a little bit. 3, 2, stay up on 1, lower halfway down, and then back up. Keep that going. 9, 8, 7, little micro pulses. 6, do you feel your glute med? Good. 3, 2, hold it up. 1, 3 breaths here. Now again, bring your head, your shoulders, and your hips in line. Stack your right hip right over your left. Yeah, and you can use your kickstand if you need to, no problem. Good, lower your knee, walk your hands in. Let's come to sit up on our left hip, and if that's not comfortable on your left hip, you can sit cross-legged. Take your right hand to your right ankle. If you're cross-legged, just take your right hand off to the right side of you. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling, and then take your left hand towards the right wall. You can keep your right hand on your ankle, or if it's comfortable, slide it up the length of your lower leg and cup your knee in the palm of your right hand. And then you can kind of pull the palm into the knee to draw your chest through. 2 more breaths. Neck release, drop your left hand, relax the weight of your head, relax your jaw. You can do this cross-legged as well. It's kind of like you're tipping water out of your right ear. So this gives us an opportunity to breathe some space open through the neck and the chest. Take 1 more. Heavy head, easy jaw, and then slowly, slowly, slowly come back up. And you can either just swing your legs around or you can roll to the other hip. So I'm going to stay facing you all so you can see how's it going. Lie down on your right side this time and stack your ankles. Reach your right arm overhead, kickstand your left fingertips. Put some energy in your feet and legs. Awesome. Open up through your hip flexors. Scoop long through your tailbone. Okay, and then Anantasana, lift your left leg, externally rotate it. You can stay here with your kickstand, or you can take your left hand to your knee and pull that knee in and up. Or you can take your left peace sign fingers, go inside with your elbow inside your knee to grab. Yep, exactly, Jeanette, that's it. And you can stay here or start the slow process of straightening the leg. It's okay if it doesn't straighten all the way, find your edge. It's early, no problem. If it does straighten, start to point through the ankle and flex through the toes so you feel like a little push of the big toe joint into the fingers. Exactly. Good, and wherever you are, take about 3 more breaths. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you can hold with your strap. Great, great. Try to open the front of your right hip. Imagine you're leaning against a wall. You're standing on a wall with your right sole of the foot. Last breath. And then tree pose. Let's grab a hold of the left ankle and pull that left foot up as high up the right thigh as you can comfortably manage. You can keep holding or you can kickstand your fingertips to the floor. Choose your favorite. Flex out through the right foot. Firm your right thigh. Lean back and lift your chest. Gorgeous. 2 more. Push off of your right foot. Lengthen through your spine. Root to rise. And then clamshell. Set up, stacking your knees. Bringing your knees in front of your pelvis. Feel your left hip on top of your right. You might lean back so you can really open up through your spine, and then Kali Mudra, interlace all but the index fingers. Lift your left knee, keep your ankles glued together. And then lower it. You got it. Lift it up and lower it. The blocks are like cat toys for Wink. About 6 or 7 more. And if you ever want to just kind of check it out, you can bring your left hand to your hip. Make sure that your left hip isn't rolling back, but it's really stacked. And that'll make sort of sure that you're isolating and engaging the right muscle, which can be hard for us yogis because we do big sweeping movements. And isolating can take a lot of specificity in where our joints are. Yeah, so you'll start to feel one little spot in your left hip Good. 3. Yeah. 2. Get really specific. 1. And then halfway down, just a little smaller range and up. Yeah. 9. Awesome. 8. 7. These are really great postpartum too. 5, when you're holding a baby on one hip a lot of the time. Good to support your hip joints. 3, 2, 1. Keep it up. Couple breaths. Strong glutes are the kind of foundation for our spine, for the health of our spine, for how we can rise or sink in our posture, right? It's like filling your tires. Okay, lower your knee, come on up, sit on your right hip. You can also sit cross-legged if this does not feel comfortable for you, no problem. So sit down into your right hip or crisscross your legs, take your left hand around your left ankle, reach your right arm up, and then lift up and over to the left wall. And you can keep your hand on your ankle, or if it's comfortable, slide it up your lower leg, palm to knee, and then pull the palm against the knee to move your chest through. Couple more. Neck release, drop your right hand down, relax the weight of your head to the left, widen your right collarbone. Take one more breath. Can you relax your head, left ear to left shoulder? All right, good. And then slowly, gently, come on back up. Find your way to all fours this time. And when you're ready, find your first downward facing dog. Knees bent or straight. Feel free to tread, take any little movements, or find stillness. Find your breath. As you exhale, feel the spine right between your shoulder blades melt towards your sternum. And then temper that by spinning your outer armpits back to find great stability in your shoulder joints. So again, it's that polarity, that yoking the heart through, and then the outer upper arms and armpits back. Stability and spaciousness, ease and effort. One more breath. And often these polarities can just really wake up a pose and shift your energy and your attention in the shape. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You can put blocks under your hands. You can fold from your hips if that's still comfortable, if it doesn't cause gripping in your belly. Or you can bring your hands to your shins if that feels better. Take a breath wherever you are. Nice slow breath. Adjust your feet wide as you need. Make room for baby. Nice slow exhale. And then if they're not already, bring your hands to your shins, half lift. As you exhale, bring your hands to your hips, hug in around baby, elbows hug in. Gorgeous. Inhale, stand. Exhale, strong legs. Lift your heart. Inhale, circle your arms down, around, and up. And as you exhale, gather your hands all the way down your midline, all the way down to your belly. Close your eyes. Gather up a deep breath in. And a core conscious exhale, wrapping in around baby, navel towards spine, hugging the pelvic floor muscles in and up, 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 so you feel a lightness and a support. One more big breath in, circumference of your rib cage. And as you exhale, feel that tone of your pelvic floor, hug in, wrap in around your baby. Open your eyes, turn your toes out, your feet out. Feet can be about mat's width. We'll bend our knees slightly and then just scoop the arms up, reach up, push into your feet. Exhale, either a modified yogi squat or all the way down. So modified would be good if you were like past 35 weeks and your baby was breech. It would also be good if you had pubic bone pain or if it just feels better than full squat. Always an option. One more breath here. Downward dog. Walk your hands forward. Adjust your feet, hips width, toes point forward. Take a big breath in. And then exhale your knees to the mat. Inhale, cow tilt, arch your spine. And exhale, cat tilt, round. 2 more.
Last one. When you're ready, back to neutral, back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips. And then from your downward facing dog, slowly on your next exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Find your fold. Maybe your hands are on blocks or floor or shins, or if it still feels good to hinge from your hips with a little widening in your stance, go for it. One more breath. Bring your hands to your shins, half lift, look forward. Exhale, hands to your hips, hug your elbows in. Inhale, rise to stand. Firm your legs, open your chest. Inhale, circle your arms down, around, and up. And as you exhale, gather your hands all the way down to your belly. Close your eyes. Take a big breath into the circumference of your rib cage. Exhale, hug in around your baby and feel your pelvic floor muscles tone in and up, 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 up. Open your eyes. Bring your feet in about hips width apart, a little closer. Good. And then find Utkatasana. So you're going to sit back into your heels, reach your arms up, make two fists. And as you exhale, bend your elbows and pull them back to the wall behind you. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Sit your weight back into your heels. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 3. Stay here. Either hold your hips in your hands, or if you can, put your fists all the way onto the back of your sacrum like this. Or really the back of your pelvis, I should say. A little wider. Yeah, wider than your sacrum. And then straighten your knees. Press your pelvis forward. Kind of punch your knuckles into your pelvis so your pelvis goes beyond your ankles. Lift your rib cage up and then arch your upper back. So it's really an upper back bend. We're just shifting the pelvis forward to create ease in the lower back. If it's right over your ankles, it's gonna get a little grippy. So bump your hips forward, lift up, coil back. 2 more breaths. If you're holding your hips, keep your hands there. If your fists are there, keep them. Look forward, press your hips into your fists if you've got that, and bend your knees, sit your hips back like you're sitting into a kindergarten classroom chair. Utkatasana, inhale, arms up. And exhale, Malasana, feet wide, come on down, about mat's width, modified or full. 1 big breath in. Open your thighs back, pull your sternum to your thumbs. Down dog, walk your hands forwards. And exhale here, adjust your feet. All right, walk your right thumb over towards the left and step your right foot forward to the outside of your pinky. And then bring your left foot down at a 45-degree angle and pause. Give yourself a lot of space. So bring your right foot over to the right. So each foot is in its own separate hip lane. Yep. And then from here, we're going to come up slowly. Bring the right hand to your thigh. Use that for support. Push into your left heel. Reach your left arm up. I'm going to get a sense as you pause here, push into your right hand, that your left arm starts all the way down at your low back. So from like below your left shoulder blade, can you reach up through your left pinky finger? And then press into your right hand, lift up through your bump a little more. You might feel a stretch, an opening in the front of your left hip flexors. Awesome. Now, beautiful. Reach your right arm up as well. Ground down into your feet. Feel that contact. Bring the palms to touch if that feels available over your head, and bend your elbows so your fingers point to the wall behind you, or maybe even down your upper back. Hug your elbows in, lift your heart up. If your thumbs touch right around that C6, C7 vertebra, lift it in towards your chest or throat. 2 more. Arms up, hands, shoulders width, like you're pulling a lat bar, palms forward, bend your elbows, interlace your fingers or hold a strap. If your hands don't interlace, no worries. Widen your stance, right foot even more to the right. so that your bump can fit inside of your right thigh as you come into humble warrior. So feel free to just wiggle that foot over to the right however much you need. Give yourself space. Yeah. You can look to the floor for balance issues because balance and center of gravity is shifting and changing a lot. If you can drop your head, see your back foot. Spin your outer right hip back. Squeeze your shoulder blades in, wrap your inner upper arms out. 2 more. Bring your hands to your hips, bring your hands inside of your right foot, grab your blocks or use a wall, warrior 3. So if you have blocks, you can put them on the tallest setting. You can also use a chair, a couch back, a wall. We're gonna lift the left leg and square the left hip down, hands on blocks. You can flex, you can floint, you can point, whatever you wanna do with that left foot. If you wanna use a wall, that can be really nice too. You can have your hands about shoulder height and then walk your right leg about a leg's length from the wall and push into the wall. And wherever you are, we'll take about 3 more breaths. Square your hips. Reach forward through your breastbone. Yeah, awesome. Energy in your spine. Reach forward. That's it, Catherine. Like reach through the crown of your head towards that wall in front of you. That's it. For 1 more breath. Stand with your feet about mat's width or however wide you need to go, depending on how big baby is. And you can keep your hands on the blocks for your fold. You can fold forward from the hips if that's comfortable and take your peace sign fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Padangustasana, making room for the bump. 3 more. So a general rule with these folds, you just might want to bend your knees a little bit more. When you're pregnant, widen your stance a little bit more. But if your belly is gripping, like sometimes when we straighten the knees and we flex from the spine instead of from the pelvis, the belly will get grippy, right? So if your belly is grippy, instead bend your knees, bring your hands to the blocks, and then this all can soften. But if the belly doesn't feel grippy and you can grab your big toes, then you're good to go. 1 more. Bring your hands to your shins, half lift. Bring your hands to your hips, hugging around baby. Inhale, rise. Exhale, root through your feet, lift and open through your chest. All right, walk towards the back of your mat. And then once you're back there, come back into Utkatasana. Bend your knees, reach your arms up. Make your fists 3 times. Exhale, bend your elbows. 1. Good, inhale, reach. Exhale, bend your elbows. 2. Maybe sit a little lower, rock your weight back. Inhale, reach. And 3 will stay. You can hold your hips. You can bring your fists to your pelvis back there near your sacrum. And we're gonna stand, straighten the knees, press the pelvis forward. And then lift your rib cage, yeah, good, up. And then you can look forward or maybe look up the wall, up to the crease of the wall in the ceiling, up to the ceiling above your head. Press your hips forward. 1 more breath. If you're holding your hips, stay there. If your fists are there, stay there. Look forward, send your hips back, Utkatasana. Reach your arms up, bring your feet wide, yogi squat or modified yogi squat. 1, full breath in. Full breath out. Downward dog. Walk your hands forward. And exhale here. Adjust your feet. So look forward. Take your left hand over to the right a little and step your left foot outside of your left pinky. As many steps as you need to get there is great. Yep. Okay, right heel at 45. We're going to go real slow. Make space. Put each foot in its own separate hip line. So instead of being like heel to arch, you're going to put your left foot over in your left hip lane. Put your right foot over to the right in its hip lane. Now, left hand to thigh, push into that right heel for a calf stretch as you come up. Right arm reaches, right heel roots. Rise up, and you can slide your left hand in and press your left hand down into your thigh to lift up through the underside of your bump. Feel this right arm starting way down in your low back. Can you reach like from your right kidney to your right pinky finger? And then if it feels good, both arms up. Yeah, beautiful, warrior ones, so good. Imagine someone is draping their arms through the ceiling and grabbing your wrists and pulling you up. So you spread your rib cage up out of your pelvis. Wouldn't that be so great? Bring your palms together if that's comfortable. Now bend your elbows if you're there towards the wall behind you, or fingers drape down your upper back. Lift your thoracics in, your C6, C7, that knobby one that gets knobbier and more stooped as we age moves into the chest or the throat. One more. Reach your arms up, spin your palms to the wall in front of you like you're pulling on a lat bar. Bend your elbows wide. Interlace or hold a strap back there. Wiggle your left foot even more to the left. Make way for baby. Humble warrior, dive inside of your left thigh. And now if the balance is feeling funky today, look at the mat alongside your left big toe. If it feels okay, drop your head, see your back foot. So how do we get the hands up off the hips? It can feel pretty sticky, right? First, go up into your shoulder blades, squeeze them in, then turn your inner armpits, your inner upper arms out. You gotta roll your arm bones outward. Then maybe your arms can lift up a little bit or a lot. 2 more. Warrior 3. So when you're ready, bring your hands down to the floor, grab your blocks or use the wall. Blocks if you have them on the tallest setting, and you're gonna walk them forward, stand into your left foot. You can flex your right foot. You can point your ankle, flex your toes. Like a Barbie doll foot, right? Or you can point like a dagger. Yeah. And you can do this with your hands on the wall as well. Nice. Good. Yeah, amazing balance with all the pets. I always joke I learned how to use my bandhas, the kind of locks of the pelvic floor of the belly, when I had a baby, because I had to practice and be really quiet on my feet so I didn't wake up the baby. Might be the same with pets crawling around under you. Lower your right foot, top of your mat, step your feet as wide as you need to make way for baby. You can keep your hands on the blocks, or you can grab your big toes and fold. So make sure you're hinging from your hips, not your spine, which you'll get pretty pulley and grippy in both your abdomen, but also your pelvic floor, right? Yeah. Good, one more breath, looks good. Hands to your shins, half lift, inhale. Hands to your hips, exhale. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, strong legs, open chest. Cool. Grab a block, and you can put it middle or narrow between your inner thighs. So Stephanie, you'll probably go middle, right? If you have slimmer legs, you'll want middle so that you can really have something to squeeze into. Narrow might make some of you go knock-kneed, right? But if you have strong thigh muscles, right, you might want to go narrow so that as you squeeze in, you're in alignment, right? You're squeezing in with your feet about, hips width apart. So just choose, right, what works for your body. And your body changes during pregnancy. So you really want to get that power of your inner thighs. Doesn't matter which way the block is, but work with your body to find what width it should go. That looks great. Okay, inhale, Utkatasana. Sit back into your heels, lift your arms. As you exhale, squeeze your block. Squeeze. So if you can't get a good squeeze, you need to switch the dimension of it. You want to be able to really hug in, and then the pelvic floor will tone up. As you inhale, your pelvic floor softens and widens. You sit back. And as you exhale, yes, good, squeeze. So when you're sitting back, I want you to imagine you're sitting in a chair, and it's just a little bit further behind you. And what this is going to do is bring your knee more over your ankle so you're not forward in your knee joint. Yeah, better, good. And then exhale and squeeze and stand. We'll do it 8 more. In and out. In and out. In and out. You find a bandha, like a net, like a trampoline action. Pelvic floor up. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the block. Feel your pelvic floor tone in and up, 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 up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your block, you move it out of your legs. Place it as long as it'll go, especially if you've got big feet like I do. And then stand your left foot on the block. So I'm not going to mirror you, but put your left foot on top of it. If you want to be near a wall, if you feel balance is an issue today, grab hold of something, move your block to the wall. Your right foot is going to be off the block. Your hands are on your hips. We're going to let that right hip drop down. Right foot will drop down. And then hike the right hip back up. For 5, 4. So your knees are straight. You're doing this from your glutes and your QL. 3, 2, 1. And then keep it in and your ankles level and bring your right foot into tree, whether that's at your calf or your thigh. And if the block feels really unsteady, I want you to feel grounded. You can come off of it, but keep that same idea. Like when you were here, this is like when you're standing in line at the grocery store and you have a baby on a hip. Don't do that in tree. Find your glute med, right? So instead of being like when you were here, right, you dial that outer hip in, and then you have something to stand on. Reach your arms out wide. Make 2 fists. Imagine you're holding big watering pitchers and you're going to water the flowers. Turn your thumbs down. And then fist bump at the back of your heart. So press your knuckles together behind you. And press your knuckles into your back like you're giving yourself a massage. Pull your back into your front. If you fall, come back. No worries. We are constantly changing, really, truly, especially in the second trimester. Your center of gravity is going through an obstacle course. So yeah, just come back, no rush, no problem. But working your balance can be really helpful and help you prevent falls and injuries from all that kind of growth and center shifting. So it's a good practice. Okay, release your arms, release your foot, come off the block, switch sides. Bring your right foot up, bring your ankles together. And then you're going to let your left hip drop, your left ankle drop. This is the like holding a baby right on that shelf of your hip, kind of slouchy thing. And then pull it all in. Find your stability. Let it drop, pull it in and up. 3, 2, it's a hip hike. 1. Good. And then keep it level. Bring your left foot. You can come off the block if you need, but remember that feeling in and up. And bring your foot into tree. Bring your arms out. Make your 2 fists. Like you're holding watering cans, tip them, water your flowers, and then fist bumper. This time perhaps reverse Anjali Mudra, bring the palms together. At the back, yeah, good. Beautiful. Keep hugging that outer hip in and up. Push into the sole of your right foot so you really have some power to push off of, to stand tall and proud. 2 more. And then gently, slowly release your arms, release your foot, come off the block if you've got that. Come back to the very back of your mat when you're ready, feet about mat's width. Little bend in your knees, little plie, circle your arms down, around, and up. Exhale, malasana, yogi squat, or half malasana last time. From your yogi squat, find your way back to down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up, and as you exhale, step your right foot outside of your right pinky finger. Step wide. few steps if you need. Left heel down at 45 degrees. You can put a block inside of your right ankle, or you can put your palm to the floor. Bring your left hand to your sacrum. Lift your sacrum up into your palm. Press down into your left heel, go forward through your spine, and then start to circle your left arm up and all the way to the wall in front of you. Now, I want this right arm straight, so even if you have to put a block there, that's great, but instead of being here today, have your right arm straight. And push into your right hand, whether it's on a block or the floor, and turn your inner right armpit outward, your inner right upper arm outward. Feel how that pulls your shoulder blade into your chest. So you can really get open through your collarbones, through your chest, and then maybe your breath can slow down and everything can get real steady and spacious here. 2 more. Keep spinning your inner right upper arm outward. Your inner right armpit outward. Pigeon. Let's bring our hands down to the ground and slowly lift your left heel. Wiggle your right foot to the left. You can put blocks under your hips if you'd like. Lower down. Take a moment to puff up your feathers. Pigeon. Open your chest. And then come down. You can put your forearms on blocks, your forehead on a block, whatever feels good. Yeah, any pigeon, double pigeon, any pigeon thingy that you want to do. Soften your jaw. Hold space for whatever sensations are bubbling up to the surface as you hold here. Just like you might hold space for yourself in those moments you want to fast forward through. Or you might hold space for your baby one day when they're having a hard time falling asleep. Or when they're a toddler and they're throwing a tantrum. Drop into your breath, offer compassion, take 2 more breaths. Hold space for whatever you're feeling in your right hip. Open your eyes if they're closed. Come back up. Find your way back to all fours. There's no rush. And then back into down dog when you're ready. Okay. Inhale, left leg lifts. Open your hip. And step your left foot outside of your left hand. You can take as many steps as you need to get it there. Right heel at 45. Block under the hand or heel of the hand in line with heel of the left foot. Right hand to your sacrum. So if you're kind of dropping down, drooping down in your hips, that'll affect your ankle, your arch. Lift up and feel the arch of your right foot lift up as well. Yeah, nice, Kristen. And then from here, circle your right arm up and over, all the way out to the wall in front of you, in front of your head. Gorgeous. Nice side angles, everyone. Turn your ribs from left to right. And then feel into this left arm. So make sure your left arm is straight. You can put it on a block. Spin your inner left armpit outward. Your inner upper left arm outward. And then feel that left shoulder blade move into your chest. So you can breathe a little slower and wider. 2 more. Pigeon. Bring your right hand down, bring your right heel up. Slowly wiggle your left foot over. You can lower onto a cushion, a block. You can take double pigeon if that feels better these days. Take a moment to puff up into your chest. And when you are ready, come forward. Maybe forearms to blocks or to the ground here. Maybe a block under your forehead. Great. And then close your eyes. And again, hold space for whatever is rising, whatever you're noticing, sensations, emotions, thoughts.
Stay with your breath. One more. When you're ready, come on up. And I want to finish today in Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you have a strap, we'll use it. And if you don't need the strap, but it's nice if you do have it. You can put a block under your head and a block under your upper back. These can be on any height. You can put a pillow or a bolster over them if you're deeper in the third trimester, so you have a little bit steeper of a ramp. So as baby gets bigger, you can just lift the support up under you into a steeper wedge. If you have a strap and it's long enough, that's the key thing. You might have a strap, but it might not be long enough, so you can try, see if this works. If it doesn't, you're just gonna lie back over the blocks with your head here, your shoulders here. I'm just facing you so you can see. But you're gonna put the strap around the back of your pelvis, like a low, low, low pair of pants right here. And then you'll bring it in front of your inner thighs and your inner ankles, and then around the baby toe sides of your feet, so you tuck it under. And then if it's long enough, you'll know at this point. If it's not, you can just throw it to the side, lie back over your blocks, not a problem. But if it is long enough, just cinch it in, and I'll kind of move around so you can see where it is. It's like kind of like this, right? So it's under the feet, in front of the thighs and calves, and then around the low back. Yep, and then Meg, just lower it down a little bit more towards your pelvis, off of your low back, but around your hip bones in the back. Okay, and then when you've got all that, go ahead and recline. Onto your blocks, adjust your blocks so they're in the right spot, and add support as baby gets bigger. Put a pillow on top of the blocks, perhaps. So the idea is, before you close your eyes, you want your eyes to be level with the ceiling. So if your block is too high, you're going to be looking to the wall in front of you. If your block is too low, you're going to be looking to the wall behind you. You want to find the perfect kind of Goldilocks height of your block so that you can look straight up, so your neck is long on all sides. You can press your thighs away from you with your hands, get a little traction action, maybe press into one hand and then the other, a little shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Lift up out of the hips, and then just relax. You can bring your hands to the sides, palms up. You can bring your hands over your bump, interlacing at the first knuckle so the arms can be quiet and relaxed. You can even bring your arms into a goalpost shape here. If at any point your hip joints feel achy, unbuckle your strap, bring the soles of your feet to the ground wide and your knees touching. So feet wide, knees together if your hips get achy. Basically the opposite of where you are right now, with your feet touching and your knees wide. With each exhale, let all efforts dissolve, fall away. Relax your body into the support beneath you. And just for a moment, come back to that mantra, your tension is your teaching. Come back to your polarity that you named out in the meditation, that you might have wrote down or shared about. Whenever we experience that contraction, there's always an expansion on the other side. Your tension is your teaching. It is helping you to expand, to unfurl. It's like a little growing pain.
can stay where you are, or if you'd like, come into constructive rest. So you can unbuckle your strap, gather your hands around your thighs, gather your thighs in, feet to the ground, feet wider than your hips, inner knees together, lying back over your blocks. This will open the pelvic outlet. So this is like kind of the way the peanut ball works. We were talking about that in the circle, knees together, feet wide. Opens up your pelvic outlet. And as you rest there, whether you're in Supta Baddha Konasana or constructive rest, bring your awareness to the back of your brain, the base of the skull, maybe that part in contact with a block. And feel the stillness, the quiet in the back of your brain. Observe the back of your brain, wide and still and calm. Bring your awareness to the throat center, the glottis. Feel the rise and fall of your breath against your vocal cords. Feel into your heart center. Feel the good space you've created in your chest through the practice today. Perhaps through sharing and connecting today. And now feel down to your baby, your womb, the space between your navel and your pelvic floor, the energy in your hips and low belly. I'm going to read as you rest here just this last minute, the fear release for birth. And just let these words kind of wash over you however they land. There goes all fear you hold about giving birth. The birth will be perfect. There goes all fear you hold about healing. You will heal beautifully. There goes all fear you hold about not being a good parent. You will be enough. There goes all fear of never being creative again. You have a deep well of creativity within your soul. There goes the deepest, most private fears you have about giving birth. You will be enough. You will be enough. You are strong enough. When you're ready, begin to deepen your breath. If you want to stay here a little longer, do so, enjoy it. And if you're ready, you can roll to your left side off of the blocks, move the props, the strap if you've got it out of the way, and rest on your left side for a couple breaths. Yoga helps us create scaffolding, root to rise, kind of build these structures with our attention within our body, improve our posture, open up joint space, breathe better. But this play with polarities can also be a really rich play in meditation, and as you move forward on your path as a parent, you'll embody more and more polarities. You'll have more depth and height, more space to feel it all. All the facets, the layers that connect and expand. When you're ready, come on up to seated, any comfortable seat. And as you settle in, however is comfortable, bring the palms of your hands to your heart center in prayer. Seal in Anjali Mudra. And we'll seal our practice together with one final Om. Deep breath in.
Take good care. I'll send out that fear release to you all written in the email too if you want to see it as well as hear it. But you can come back to it, like if you're in your second trimester, come back to it in your third trimester. All right. We didn't have a couple of our 39-week pregnant folks in the room today. I'll have to do a little check-in, see how they're doing. But we'll send them good birth vibes if that's where they're at.